Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your reading for November, Aries. It's good to see you guys again. Welcome back. How you been? So, the way that we've been doing the reading, guys, we're going to continue here for November. We're going to take a look at the general energy that you guys can expect for the month, for Scorpio season into Sag. And then we're going to go through and talk about the cards in terms of love and relationships primarily, and we'll talk about the cards in terms of the career and manifestation. And the days, the weeks leading up to doing your reading, Aries, any channeled songs that came through when I was thinking about your energy, you will find those songs in the description box below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when my videos are being uploaded. Alright, Aries, these are your cards for Scorpio season for November, so let's go ahead and talk about them together. The overall energy here, we have the Eight of Pentacles, so I feel like where your focus is right now on this time is on the self. This is the 8th card. Scorpio is the 8th sign, so this is the Eight of Pentacles. Scorpio is the 8th sign, so I feel that this particular time of year has you doing some introspection. I think that there are a lot of hard truths that you guys are wrestling with. There's a lot of secrets that are coming out. And don't let that alarm you. I just mean that things that you have not given the time of day to, things that were a source of pain for you or just never really sat well with you. Now is the time when they're getting all of your attention, or it's like the universe is putting them on blast, or it's like the universe is putting you on blast. And the thing is, I feel like you are not scared by this. The energy that I get coming from your cards here for November is that I feel like you want to close out old cycles. I feel like you guys want to heal something once and for all. You guys want to, you're just ready for something new. You're ready to feel whole once again. You don't want to feel you don't want to feel fragmented or feel weighed down by old pains, by old struggles. And I feel that this most recent full moon in Aries really, there was just something about that energy that really started pushing you guys further and further down that path, pushing you to say the things that you really want to say, making you focus on the things that you have avoided up until this point for the sake of your prosperity, for the sake of your growth. There's a lot of blessings that are coming your way, and I can see here what's on the other side of what you guys are going through is expansion in all areas in all the areas out there, yes, but in all the areas of your life. And the thing about it is, there's such a willingness here to go through this process. There's such a willingness to just finally be done with the things that have been a source of pain and struggle for you, and you are just ready for something new. The Ten of Swords in your subconscious is really, really positive to see, and I'm really happy to see that here because I feel like the end is near. Something that you guys have been putting up with for an extremely long time. It could have something to do with codependency. It could have something to do with feeling as though there are people in your life who there's a question of whether or not they care for you. There's a question of just how much they truly do feel for you. A lot of you guys could have found yourselves in situations, relationships, We're going to talk about love in a moment, but you guys could have found yourself in a lot of dynamics where you were just extremely gung-ho and willing to be the diplomat, be the one who is always willing to set the stage when it comes to repairing something. And, you know, that is someone who's always willing to assume that role, someone who's always willing to be the one who makes everything better, someone who's always willing to have the difficult conversations. It is extremely admirable because it means that you guys are showing up to the ring. You guys aren't afraid to talk about the things that aren't painful. You guys aren't afraid to have those hard conversations for the sake of what you stand to gain from it. I think that the big picture, the healing that's on the other side of that, of just that's on the other side of clarity, that's on the other side of an embracing of the truth and really creating a space or an environment where growth can happen, is what you guys are keeping in mind. And I feel like that's what's motivating you to finally move on, to finally live your life for you, to finally let yourself be happy, to let yourself love the way that you have always deserved to be loved. And I just want you guys to know, you know, if you haven't been told in so many words, or if you're feeling as though you're questioning whether or not there are people in your life who care about you, I just want you to know that even though I've never met you, even though we may never meet, even though we may never cry together, laugh together, I love you guys. You're very lovable people. There's something about your heart that loves so dominantly. It's untamable. And I feel that you want your heart to be freed. There's something that you guys have been wrestling with for maybe the past 10 years, the past 6 years maybe, that has just had you in an area of uncertainty, has had you in a position of longing for days when things weren't so hectic, for days when it was bliss and there wasn't anything to worry about. What I feel like you guys are leaving behind is the need to be validated, is the need for approval. You're working on yourself in such a way that your needs are what is taking priority. Your future is what's center stage, is what is in your hands. And I feel like, yes, there's a little bit of fear because you're on the threshold of something that is extremely great, something that I can't even begin to describe, but it's everything that you guys have ever wanted. It's that sense of fulfillment. It's that sense of feeling whole, that sense of feeling like there isn't a hole in your heart. And in order for that wound to heal, it's important that you guys don't miss this opportunity to really lean into the painful feelings. And I know how hard that is, and how easy it is to just keep running forward and to just keep moving forward. But the universe wants you to stop for a second and to really think about what you guys just went through, to think about what you guys are now giving your regards to. I think that you want to be appreciated. I think that you want to be loved unconditionally. But there's an energy here of someone wondering if they're waiting in vain. There's an energy here of someone wondering if they should keep investing, and not really knowing if that healing is something that is possible. Perhaps you don't know how to start. Perhaps you don't really know if you'll ever get through this. But the fact that the Ten of Swords is here, I feel like those fears, those worries, that doubt, as difficult and as hard as it is to lay those aside, it's imperative here that you try your best. Try your best to envision what you guys would look like if you were happy, if you were free. I think that there's forgiveness here that needs to happen for those who you feel have wronged you, for those who you feel fell short. But it's important that you guys understand that even though you may have felt wronged, we can introduce compassion into the situation by understanding that the people that you guys have been dealing with they were doing their best. And we're loving you and showing up for you in the best way that they could, in the ways that they knew how to. We spoke a little bit about, last month in the October reading about us not being able to force anyone's hand. You can't make someone see something your way. You can't make someone return the love back to you. You can't make someone show up the way that you guys show up in the world. The best that you can do is speak your piece. The best that you can do is go ahead and create that environment for open and clear conversation so that you can get things off your chest, so that you can finally release that energy. And you're not left ruminating, and that energy is not marinating and eating away at you over time. You guys put up with a lot, and everyone does expect you to just handle it. And you guys are bosses, but the downside of that is, who can you run to? Who can you open up to about your feelings? Who can you talk to when you're the one that everyone admires, when you're the one that everyone looks to because of your ability to just keep going, to keep charging forward no matter what you have experienced? And a lot of people, I feel like, forget that you guys do have feelings, that you guys can hurt. Because your personality is so energetic, and because it is so magnetic, and really just makes people wonder how you guys do the things you do. How is it that you're able to endure? And the secret is, from one Aries to another, is that sometimes the things that hurt the most aren't given the time of day that they need. We don't dwell. We don't dwell. But those emotions and those feelings, they have a knack of piling up. And it's only when you realize the ripple effects that you then understand that slowing down and really adjusting your focus and really letting things seep in and marinate, that you're able to avoid those pitfalls in the future, that you're able to pull those swords out of you. I feel that keeping a level head is what's being asked of you guys right now. You guys can't run forward blindly at this time. It's imperative that you look and see exactly what has been happening. It's important that you pause right now to really see how you have gotten here and really understand just how much those wounds, just how big of a role those wounds played on your current circumstances, and how healing them is absolutely necessary in order for you guys to accomplish what would make you feel complete in the future. Now, to talk about the cards in terms of love, you guys could be dealing with a fire sign or an earth sign. It could be a Virgo, a Taurus, an Aries, or a Leo. And this is someone who you're focusing pretty heavily on this person right now. I feel like you're thinking about this person quite a bit, or they may be thinking about you a lot. But someone wants to patch things up. Someone really does want to heal, like we were saying. Like, the energy is here of healing. Someone wants to nurture. Someone wants to care for the other. Very, very beautiful. And I feel that the desire is here to move out of a phase where feelings were very easily hurt and communication has been hard. The fact that we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde is not helping, because I do feel like it just makes you guys feel a bit impulsive, which is where being able to see the future and have the big picture in mind comes in. It comes in very handy. It's more important now than ever. To make sure that you aren't saying anything that you're going to regret. This goes for the person that you're dealing with as well. Yeah. So, medicine wheel. This flew out in the reverse. Now, this card, the energy that comes with it is more or less a what goes around comes around. But because it was in the reverse, very synchronistic. We are talking about cycles, Aries. We are talking about you guys stepping through portals. And I feel like there is a cycle that is ending here. Something is no longer going to be happening. This is what we've been picking up on. And I feel that if within this dynamic you wanted to see something change, if within this dynamic the effort is what you guys have been waiting to to see shift, to see change. I do think that that may be happening here. I think that there is going to be an expression of love. There is going to be an expression of care. And I feel that until you get that answer, until there is certainty, someone just wants to put the brakes on because they want to put an end to the pain. They want to put an end to just not knowing. Just not knowing how they're being viewed by the person that they're dealing with. I feel like you guys need that. You guys have gone through a lot. You have been hurt. You have been hurt. And you want to start over. So it's like you really, want to look before you leap. And you no longer want to find yourself in situations where you are the one that's doing all the work, where you're the one that is always reaching out first, where you're the one who's always making the plans, where you're the one who's always ready to reconcile, or where you're the one who's always willing to talk about the things that hurt so that you guys can move forward. I think that you guys want to be met halfway. And that's not something that you want to budge from. And I don't think that you should, because you shouldn't have to bear that burden alone. Energetically, you guys could also be dealing with a Sagittarius. Sag is coming up very strong here. It could be any of the fixed signs: Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. But the Sag is coming through here strong. So November for you guys is about reciprocity. It is about you guys getting back what you so willingly give. But it's important here that you watch your words, because you guys can get pretty aggressive when you have let your emotions bottle up, when you have let something that has been bothering you stay inside. Don't let that cloud your judgment, and don't let that push you into speaking from an emotional place. Remain focused on closing out the cycles that you guys want to close, because I feel like there's a lot that you have learned in terms of what you no longer want to, in terms of the relationships that you no longer want to create space for. And that's all well and good, but you don't need to attack the world or fight the world because of that. Accept that change in grace. And really allow others the benefit of going through the same growth that you guys did. Because we can't push, we can't force anymore. We can only control the way that we have been showing up, and we can only piece ourselves back together after having gone through painful cycles. We can only decide what the next step is. We can only decide what's next, where we're going to go with this new heart that we have. Now, let's talk about your cards in terms of career. So you guys have been hard at work, but I feel like you are drained. I feel like you are tired. I feel like you're tired. I think that you're ready for a change in some capacity. I do think that the way that you guys are showing up in the work field is changing. As we've been saying, you're no longer bearing all the burden. You're no longer bearing all the weight. I think that in a way, you are being kind to yourself by releasing some of the what I would describe as the thought that it all rests on your shoulders, that you're the one that needs to save the ship. You have to allow others to take some of that power. You have to allow others to pull their weight. You have to allow others to do their part. Especially if this is a situation where you have not been especially if you guys are confused about whether or not what you're doing is something that you want to keep doing. I have to get some water. So I feel like you guys are sitting on a lot of potential. You guys are manifestors. You guys are the first sign. You guys have that fire, your cardinal fire. And whatever it is that you set your mind to, if you put all of your focus there, your expertise, your eye for perfection, there's no doubt that you will be successful. But I do think there is some apprehension here, because I feel like you have been pouring a lot of your time and energy into an endeavor that is your dream. And I really don't want you guys to give up on that because it's slow. I feel that that is a blessing in and of itself. What's wrong in enjoying the journey? You guys know that you're going to be successful. You guys know that you guys know what's on the way, and you know that it's yours for the taking. So you don't need to force anything. You don't need to push. You don't need to rush. Just let it all unfold naturally. And don't overthink it. Don't question whether or not you're taking the right steps, because I feel like you guys, it's a part of who you are. You guys know what to do. You guys know intuitively. That's why I feel like you guys, you know, there are some who would call it impulsive, but when you just know, you know. All right, let's grab an oracle here for you next. This one says, if I am resisting evil, I am attracting evil, quote unquote. That's card number 2. That breaks down, that's card number 20. That breaks down to 2. So we're talking about collaboration. We're talking about relationships. This says, if you are resisting anything, you are focused upon it, pushing against it and attracting and activating the vibration of it, and therefore attracting that which is like it. This is... So the thing about this card, Aries, and the energy that comes with it is it's much easier said than done, because it really requires you to just have a hands-off approach when it comes to your thoughts, to not let them roam, to not actively resist what you perceive to be evil or what you perceive to be an injustice to you, because you're vibrationally charging whatever that is, and you're pulling it towards you even though you don't want that. And it sucks, because it's almost like you can't think about it in that way. Or it's best to just not think about it at all. It's best not to just get into it. It's best to avoid this Two of Swords space at all costs. This is what I meant when I said just trust your instinct. Just do what you guys know how to do. And don't spend too much time thinking about the worst case scenario. Don't spend too much time reminiscing about how things could have been, or how things went in the past, or how hard it was, you know, how difficult it was, and how you guys were the ones that had to pull all the weight, how you guys were the ones that had to just deal with it and really heal yourself and really put up with it. You know, don't get sucked into that cycle. Just allow yourself to heal. Allow situations to unfold naturally. Trust in divine order. Trust in the divine flow at play here. All right, that was your reading for November. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for your mid-month reading.